How's it going, guys? It's Friday, May 14th. You're tuning into 2.5 Hoopers, Dennis Smith Jr.'s favorite basketball podcast. Shout out, Jacob. I'm your host, Jacob Lehman. With me, I have Josh Rhodes.
Hey, guys.
And George Martin.
Hello.
I don't normally ask you guys, how you doing? You having a good day, George?
Yes.
What time is it right now?
4:30 a.m.
It always is.
Always is.
It's 4:30 a.m. somewhere. Josh, how was work?
We actually had all of Conejo Valley and all of Oxnard after their basketball tournament. All women's JV and varsity teams came in.
I was also working today. I had a math test at 6, work till 6, so I'm clocking out right away. 5:58 with just my homegirl Lauren there. 40 of the running rebels come in. So I had to stay extra. I had to help out. So
yeah.
Screw the running rebels. They all got double scoops with toppings. That's not fun to do. But at least no milkshakes. All right, let's get to basketball now. We got a good show. Blazers splitting some important games. Victor Oladipo's injury. The Blake Griffin Superbad shoe collab. That's going to be fun to get to. But first, if you'd like to cheer, make sure to follow us at THHoopers, Instagram and Twitter. Drop a comment, you'll get a shout out. Some good dialogue last Instagram post. We had J Sports on last podcast because Josh Rhodes was, as you know, doing girlfriend duties. And he filled in quite well, but he dropped some interesting stuff. He said he trusts Andrew Wiggins of the Warriors more than CJ McCollum of the Portland Trailblazers. He said he's having a better season and he trusts him more.
To be fair, he said he's playing the two more the way that the shooting guard role is played in this era than CJ McCollum is. And I don't know what, quite honestly, I don't understand that.
Because CJ McCollum's like a shooting guy.
because CJ McCollum doesn't play as good of defense as Andrew Wiggins, and CJ McCollum is short. I think those are the two harps.
Yeah, I'm just gonna, because we give a shout to every comment. So the Steph, Denis Ivanovic, shout out, good love. Listen to the pod and skipping whatever else J Sports podcast says because he just said Wiggins over CJ. Fair. J Sports with 2 heaters back to back. The fingers were twirling. Let me be clear, I said the way the two are playing right now, I think CJ is obviously better than Wiggins, but Wiggins is going off recently. This was fresh off a 38-point game from Wiggins, but CJ dropped 30 back-to-back, so I don't know. Then he said, funny though, Wiggins has a better field goal percentage than CJ. Steph, all right, I won't skip anymore. And then George, just Lamau. I don't know if he thought he'd go viral there, but that's how it goes.
Every time.
And then Music 11 AM 0011, promote it. George was not having it. He said, promote us.
And then, last but not least, Cole Wakeham commented, if you didn't
Cole
see
Wakeham
it.
said it.
Did he like his own comment again?
He always likes his own comment. He said it's to get the ball rolling. That's a George thing. That's it. All right, but again, I know we only got 3 listeners. We appreciate you, D-Stiff. We appreciate J Sports. Empire Records will appreciate you one day if you send an actual person to listen to the podcast, then we'll promote it. I don't care if it costs $1,000. I'll dip into the pennies and I'll promote it on there. All right, let's get to it. Look ahead. So we're gonna start with Josh here. Your look ahead was the Hawks completing the baseball sweep on the Wizards, 120-116 on Wednesday. You did close from before the game happened, and you got pretty lucky because it's a pretty good game. Russ 34 and 15 assists, only 5 boards though, so no triple double. And Trae Young. Once again, kind of efficient, 48%. Again, 3 balls and fallen. He stopped shooting it. And then he also had 8 boards, 9 assists. So what did you see here?
The Hawks it's not really a super important game because every game without Bradley Beal is kind of a game you can't take too seriously for the Wizards. But Hawks were playing really slow in the second and third quarter. It was a lot of just Trae Young kind of creating for himself. Like high screens, and then everybody else started to get the ball rolling in the fourth quarter. Bogey finally got his shot down, and the Wizards started to settle a lot more. Russell Westbrook was creating a lot at the beginning, and then the fourth quarter was a lot of just throw it to Bertans and hope he can make threes.
He's coming off the screen. It's going to be a half-court shot. He'll hit half of them.
I don't know. That's never really been I can't really say that's an issue for the Wizards that they on the starting lineup. Sometimes it seems like they only have one guy that can create for other players or even for themselves. Because sometimes Rui gets bad spurts. He didn't play too bad this time, but there was a lot of times where it was like Ish Smith was holding the ball for a lot longer than he should be, and that's not really a good look. But again, no Bradley Beal. Hawks probably shouldn't have won this game, but they really picked it up in the fourth quarter, so they were just able to squeak this one out. Nothing too special, though.
Yeah, I'll help you out, and then I'll tell you something I disagree with. Russell Westbrook accounted for 15 of their 29 assists, so over half of them. And then Ish Smith had 6. Everyone else 3, 2, 2. Very low numbers across the board. So yeah, it was all Russ. But that's kind of how they play, especially with that Bradley Beal. You said Bogey finally got a shot down. He's been on a tear. Yeah, I think he has the second most threes in the month of May. He has like 90.
Oh no, I mean like for the game. I'm not talking about like.
You mean he picked up in the second half?
Yeah, he just
I got you there.
It was a slow start. I'm not saying like no. The Hawks backcourt have been playing out of their minds. That's why they got out of the play-in in the first place, and that's why they kept that like little 4th seed supremacy that they've been kind of rolling with. And we thought they would fall off, but Trae Young came back, and Bogey and him have been playing really good. Kevin Huerter also has been playing pretty well. So.
Do you think Capella deserves a lot of credit for manning this top 5 defense when he has Trae Young and Bogdanovich and also Kevin Huerter in the starting lineup?
Yes, it's
those are traffic cones on most squads. And then Nate McMillan, obviously great defensive coach, but I mean Clint Capella's man in the middle. He had 17 and 11 this game. 2 blocks.
What's kind of disappointing for Atlanta is that they have so much flexibility with all their players, but a rotation that they can't play is Big O and John Collins. That's kind of where they start to fall in behind because John Collins or Big O doesn't have the same defensive presence as Clint Capella, so it was just a bunch of like traffic cones. But Clint Capella commands just so much respect in the paint that the Wizards kind of had to find other ways to score, and that's kind of been a matching thing. Clint Capella's kind of going under the radar. He's been kind of their sturdy, consistent glue guy, and that's always what he's been in Houston. But, with Atlanta not being so hot of a destination until now, he deserves a lot of credit for it.
George, I want you to take us home here as far as Wizards Hawks. But first, I don't want to put you on the spot here, but you are kind of the injury guy. Do you know if they're going to get Hunter or Reddish back for the playoffs? They're going to get a week break for that from the end of the season to the start of the playoffs because of the play-in.
So Hunter returned. I think he might have gotten like a maintenance night off, like injury management. But Reddish, I'm not sure when he's coming back. I guess I can get that for you in a little bit, but. Yeah, I think Capella should get some defensive team consideration. Second team for sure. He's not sniffing first team. But I don't really know. I mean, unless Bam gets in over him, that's really the only person I can see. But, yeah, like Josh made a lot of good points about this Hawks roster. He's been, the defensive anchor for them. And Nate McMillan is a pretty solid coach to help that team play well defensively. But I have not a lot more to add. I think the Wizards fall to 10 now. So they have a little bit of an uphill battle to get out of the play-in. It's going to be tough for them, but if you want a guy to get you out of the play-in, it's Russell Westbrook. What's up, Josh?
I will update you on the injury. So Cam Reddish's injury is a little bit more severe. So he got reevaluated like we talked about like a week or 2 ago, I believe. But he's going to miss probably the rest of the regular season, and then he'll be reevaluated probably first round. So he's looking to miss time there. DeAndre Hunter actually did already return. He had injury management today. So tomorrow, I believe, is when they played, or I believe it
Friday,
was
maybe.
Did they? Oh no, they played Thursday, and he played.
Okay.
I believe, if I'm not mistaken. I can't. Yes, he did. He played 15 minutes. So they're trying to integrate him slowly in there. He doesn't look too terrible, but it's going to be a little bit of a slow start. So the week off might help him. But Cam Reddish is probably, I would predict, probably out for the first round.
I got to ask this every pod. Are Hawks going to win a first round series, whether it's against the Heat or the Knicks? I'll start with George.
I wouldn't take them over either team, honestly. Definitely not the Heat. The Knicks would be interesting because that's a clash of 2 young, pretty solid defenses, but I wouldn't take them over the Heat. So I'm going to say I'm bullish on it.
Josh.
I think the only first-round matchup the Miami Heat have a chance at winning is against the Bucks.
Whoa.
I don't know.
Did you see what they did to Joel Embiid today?
They just lined that.
We'll get to it.
Do you think the Sixers are really – we will get to it. But, I mean – I think it relies so much on
Weren't
the
you on the
guard
Sixers
play.
trade like 2 months ago?
Okay,
It derailed.
Danny.
Wait, Josh, finish that.
Do you want me
Was
to finish my point, George?
Yes, please.
No, hold on. Did you say, do you think the Sixers were trying that game, or do you think the Sixers are for real in the East? What were you going to say? Were you okay? So you're asking. Okay, so you think they kind of just are mailing it into the playoffs, especially okay.
Yeah,
we'll get to that, but I just want to make sure you weren't like jumping ship already on the Sixers.
No. They're still my championship favorites right now. But going back to my Atlanta point before George had a mental collapse. I think with Atlanta, the guard play has to be really well. But I think that the Knicks have that more than the Heat do, just because no Oladipo and the guard play has been really inconsistent in Miami. So I think New York would probably beat Atlanta. I'm not so sure about Miami.
Interesting. We'll touch on that a little bit later. Moving on to George's look ahead. He kind of cheated, but I asked him to cheat. He took the Blazers back-to-back. Pretty important games there. So we'll start with the Blazers beating the Jazz 105-98. Again, no Donovan Mitchell, no Mike Conley. Dame Lillard 30 points. Nurk 15 boards. There's a 28-point swing in this game with Portland holding the lead for the entirety of the second half. Utah led by 12 points after the first quarter, but yeah, Portland just kept chipping away and then led the whole second half. So George, take the first half of your look at right here.
So yeah, these two games had eerily different endings, but we'll get to the first one like you said. Portland was rock solid in the fourth, especially Carmelo Anthony. He was very efficient, 18 points. Basically, they were going to him in the fourth quarter. He was cooking Rudy Gobert. I know Josh Nowakowski's going to love that. So Nowakowski, if you're listening.
Rudy Gobert, 15 points, 20 boards.
I'm just saying, he got cooked and NBA Twitter went crazy.
No, yeah, Nurkic was. This is the Nurk I want to see. Sorry to interrupt you, but yeah, this is the. I don't know if you mentioned all the stats. 11 points, 15 boards, 6 assists, 3 steals, 4 blocks.
Defensively, yes. Offensively, not. But they don't have to worry about offense because they have a 3-headed monster there. Actually, kind of 4-headed. But for the Jazz, I do want to bring up a point. I know we've talked about it a little bit in their 3-point shooting. It was 30% here, 12 for 40. I did some digging. They're 37% combined in the last 2 months shooting from 3. That's down from 42 early on in the season. So it has dipped a bit, like we have thought. And, if they are slumping in that category, I don't want to say, it's like scary hours for them, but it's a little bit concerning with such a high volume 3-point offense. Your shots
scary hours in a bad way.
Scary hours in a bad way. Like actually scary. It's like, ooh, I'm scared, But anyways, moving on to the Suns game. This was a little bit different. They had a really, really bad clutch time offense. Rocco missing 2 straight free throws to give the ball back to the Suns, who end up getting game-winning free throws from Devin Booker on a rightly called foul. I know there was some controversy there. That was the right call, in my opinion. But they had a lot of chances to win this game, and it's kind of disappointing for them because if they won this game, they locked up the 6th seed. Now they give the Lakers a chance to sneak back in, and Dame post-game was very animated. He was not happy, so I expect him to have like a 55-point game against the Nuggets in the next game. But yeah, this is a little bit different for them because their crunch time offense has been the best of the best in the league this season. So that was a little difficult to see.
Was he upset about their collapse or about the foul?
What'd you say? Was
Dame upset about the collapse or the foul?
Collapse for sure.
Okay. Then, he had 41 this game. He had 30 the game before. So he's on pace, 50 against the Nuggets. Newcomer is kind of Dame to kind of take it personally, especially in the regular season to be Dame time. There's been stats coming out that he's not maybe the clutch performer that we think in the playoffs. But that's for another pod. Josh, what did you take from either of these 2 games? Phoenix, Devin Booker again, not shooting too well, 5 for 17. Chris Paul steady as always, 26 and 7. Just tell me about these both 2 games because they were unable to complete the sweep like the Warriors were of the top 2 seeds in the West.
I don't know with the Blazers because they go on these sneaky winning streaks and they go on these blatant horrific losses. Yeah, it's just bad. I kind of agree with George. The Blazers probably should have come up on top for both of these games. Just they had a lot of opportunities to do so, and they just weren't able to capitalize on it. But I mean, I guess Nurkic is more of a X factor than we thought when it comes to super slow centers. So, I mean, maybe they're trying. Maybe they found something out against the Jazz, and they're like, "Well, now wait a second. If we have to play the Jazz in the first round, it wouldn't be too bad. Obviously, no Donovan Mitchell, so they don't get like the full case of it. But I mean, Blazers still in the race. It seems like nobody wants that 6th seed because of who is at number 3 right now.
They don't know if it's going to be Nuggets or the Clippers. Yeah.
Yeah. Nothing else really. These are just 2 games that Portland probably should have won both, but we're unable.
Yeah, it ended off here. No Ayton for the Suns. I forgot to mention that. So they started Dario Saric at center, and the Blazers still couldn't get it done.
Suns stripping games off. They trying to avoid that second 2-7 matchup, maybe.
I mean, there's a lot of games that I think are going on in locker rooms, and the NBA did their best to prevent it. We'll get to Sunday where they get. Just so you guys know, on Sunday from 10 to 3, every team plays.
It's kind of like what they did with the bubble early on, where it was
so that way there's no Lakers won this morning. Now we need to throw this game so we can get the ones, all this stuff. There's none of that. So you're gonna play. You get what you get. And don't throw a fit.
Yeah,
on
because
Sunday.
I believe the Lakers game and the Blazers Nuggets game are like starting at the exact same time. So. Yeah. I mean, unless like Frank Vogel and Terry Stotts at halftime in the locker room, like, okay, this is the score. No, I don't think so. But yeah, you make a good point.
Oh yeah, but other than that, I don't put too much stock into this. Blazers always, whenever we didn't acknowledge this, Blazers always pick it up second half of the season. They always do. Like ever since
they have the March. They have like that. It's not really March, but like March for them is just either amazing or horrible.
Yeah, and I mean, I believe. I want to get this right. I'm on the app right now. They are 8-2 in the last 10. So they were 9-1 before this loss. They were streaking. So Blazers are still going to be tough. I think it'll be fun to see. I kind of want Blazers to get that 6th seed.
I think the Blazers win. Honestly, I think Dame takes it.
They play the Clippers.
No, they play the Nuggets.
Nuggets Blazers will be fun.
Well, it's interesting because the Nuggets do have an outside chance at getting the 3rd seed right now. They own the tiebreaker over the Clippers, 1 game back. So I think if the Clippers lose 1 game of their last 2 and the Nuggets win, they'll get the 3rd seed. I'm not sure about that. But if it's wrapped up, maybe they rest Jokic. They need their MVP, and they've been decimated by injuries the most in the second half. So it'll be interesting to see. I honestly have no idea who's getting what.
Yeah, I mean, we'll definitely on Monday's show. It'll be a lot of fun finally seeing where these people finish. And we get some predictions later on the line, but we'll move on now. My look ahead: Heat. I say smack the Sixers 106-94 because this game wasn't close, like at all. I don't think the Sixers led at all. I believe the end of the first quarter, 38 Miami, 22 Philly. They just put Embiid in the torture chamber. We played 25 minutes, 6 points, 3 for 9, only 2 boards. And in comparison, Bam Adebayo, 18 and 12 and 8 assists on 70% shooting. So I don't. And again, the Heat, they're peaking at the right time. Their offense is clicking. Their offense is clicking. And actually, I'm not going to go there because that's halftime. But their offense is clicking at the right time. They're going to have the coaching advantage in almost every series, any series they play.
I would agree, I think.
Off the bench, Hero, 18 points, 46% shooting. Dragic, 15 points, 41% shooting. And their offense is running smooth. If you watch the game, Dragic is in transition. They're playing that good brand of ball. And this is where Jimmy peaks. It's coming playoff time.
He loves this time.
He's talking trash. 21 points in 30 minutes today. Only took 10 shots, 4 for 4 from 3. Buy your Heat stock now. I don't know if it's still low, but Heat stock to the moon.
I held on.
You haven't talked about it in a minute.
I think you sold it. I think you sold it.
I sold some. I
sold on the black market, but kept like a 10% stake in it.
Yeah.
So that way, like,
I'm a minority owner in the stock. There you go.
Yeah. So I guess I hit a lot of the Heat stuff. Josh, you mentioned that you kind of think Sixers are kind of coasting here, so you do put 0 stock in this game, just like they got the first seed.
There's a little bit of stock because even though he only played 25 minutes, like, come on, like, I know that he was resting early because the Heat went up early and they just kind of took him out, and I mean, this was kind of like a Phoenix game. It's just one of those it's one of those games where you kind of have to like step back and kind of like really think like how capable is this team of going as far as we think they will? Like, we kind of had those games with Phoenix where they would just like blow these games where they pause or they needed to win and they go down like very quickly, and then Chris Paul's out, Devin Booker's out, like they just coast. And this was kind of one of those games for Philly. Absolute torture chamber in the first quarter though by Bam, and there's really no excuse for it. I think after that though, they had like, I don't know, they had randoms on Bam, and like he was feasting on him. But again, it's just one of those games where they kind of give up, and then you start to wonder, like, okay, if this happens in the playoffs, are they going to do the same thing? Are they going to kind of change their game plan? Because I mean, Doc Rivers is a respectable coach. Obviously, he doesn't have like a too good of a positive reputation, but I don't really know what they're going to do if this happens come playoff time. Luckily, I don't think they're going to play Miami, but we'll have to see.
Wow.
Well, Philly's going to get that first seed probably. Brooklyn only a game back.
Exactly.
So they might not, but I think Philly's going to get that first seed. And that means you don't play anyone of note, really, until the conference finals. You let the Bucks and Nets duke it out.
Well, if the Celtics lose and they have to play Boston the first round, Boston's kicked Philly out the last like 2-3 years.
Jaylen Brown is
yeah, but I don't even know if Celtics getting past the play-in. You didn't. I told you I'll let you mention that before I let George bring us home here. Just quick thoughts on Jaylen Brown injury.
Oh, like you guys said, it's probably the end of Boston's season. That's such a big blow. He had such a good year, and
just
for him
that
to
you
just
see them beating the Sixers.
Well, because the Celtics have had their number. It's probably the end, but again, you never know. Brad Stevens is a mastermind, and they gotta
It's a little bit overhyped.
Nothing you said was correct, Josh.
According to George,
I'm looking at the box score here. What position is Ben Simmons, do you think, Josh?
I want him to play. I want him to try and play the 4 because when he was playing the 4, he was doing very well. Oh, thank goodness.
They have him as a 2. They have Seth Curry as the 1, him as the 2.
Well, no, he plays points still. They just like to have him as his 2 because he's kind of like Seth Curry isn't.
Oh yeah, they had him guarding
Robinson.
Duncan Robinson this game, which I think is
one of
ludicrous.
7 in the cage. Duncan Robinson.
Why would you have him on Duncan
Thank God
Robinson?
They stopped Duncan Robinson.
Exactly.
Kendrick
Jimmy
Nunn
Butler,
13 on 6 for 9 shooting.
Jimmy Butler, Bam, Kendrick Nunn, anyone else.
I also don't understand why they don't have their best defender on the best player on the other team. I think that
they got your boy Tobias on Jimmy.
On defense, Ben Simmons should probably stay in the perimeter, but I don't know. It's so difficult on offense because he probably has the best court vision on the Sixers, but at the same time, he's absolutely useless past 10 feet in terms of shooting. So I think I don't know where they would even think about putting him. He's
an enigma. George, wrap us up here.
I mean, I don't have much else to say. Josh's sense of like, them kind of coasting or like, the Suns thing. I disagree a little bit. They need to have a sense of urgency. They need that 1 seed because, like you said, gives them their best chance of getting to the conference finals.
Like it. We're saying that they do it.
I know, but I'm just saying, like, as a watcher, they should be wanting the first seed. Yeah. But I guess my opinion doesn't really matter as much. But yeah, I mean, in a potential series, Miami would have like the stuff to beat Philly. They have the coaching edge. They got guys to throw it, Embiid and Toby. I don't know what Josh is laughing at, but yeah, I mean, if this was a second round matchup, I mean, you want to share with the class? You want to share with the class?
I'm not laughing at you. Okay, I will do a little spoiler for the play-in thing. I know Lehman likes to update us with the play-in thing. I just got a Reddit notification where the question on NBA discussion says, if the Lakers get eliminated by the play-in tournament, will we ever see the play-in tournament ever again? That's so funny.
And when you sent that,
LeBron is axing it. For
the 1 view we get on YouTube, I'll put it on here. I thought that was a Mickey Mouse logo, but it's the Reddit logo on the NBA logo. I thought it was like the Dame Lillard Mickey Mouse MVP.
The Reddit bot.
Fun fact, I thought that was real.
Well, we can talk about the plan later, but that's so
Well,
funny.
actually, I forgot to mention, so Mavs beat the Pelicans 125-107, and Lakers beat the Rockets 124-122 on Wednesday. We'll just quickly cover it here. What are your predictions? I know Blazers play the Nuggets, Lakers play the Pacers, and
Pelicans,
and the Mavs play, I think, some easy teams as well.
Toronto
George.
and the T-Wolves.
Thank you.
I think the Lakers are actually going to get the 6th seed, which means we would.
You think they win out and Blazers lose?
Yeah, I mean the Lakers can surely win out. I don't know if I don't know if Portland can win that game. I'm not optimistic, so I'm going to say the Lakers end up getting the 6th seed here, which would put them right in the mix for an LA series.
Josh.
I think the Lakers stay in the play-in.
Yeah, they get that 7 seed. Mavs 5, Blazers 6.
One of us is going to be right. One of us is going to be wrong.
Yes, we'll go the order they're on right now. I think that's the order.
All right.
Is that Mavs, Blazers, Lakers?
Yeah.
Yes.
I think it sticks there too. I think Mavs win out. Lakers might. I think Lakers drop to Indiana.
Are probably going to play a couple of these.
I'm not going to say LeBron's going to throw a game, but in those return games or just like a feel-up game, he's going to go out like 19, 8, and 6 on like 33% shooting. Skip Bayless is going to have his Twitter fingers out.
You talking about Indiana? Against Indiana?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if he'll play against Indiana. This guy is acting goofy.
Also, it's noted Indiana can get the 8th spot right now, so I mean they should have a little bit.
They're hustling then, yeah.
That having 7 or 8 is so much different because you get another game if you lose. 9 or 10, you're out of there if you lose. So I mean, they should show up fired up. I don't know how healthy they are. I think Sabonis got hurt last game, so if he's not playing, it kind of shoots their odds. But we'll see.
Well, you lobbed me up an absolute classic. We're gonna get to the Pacers now. Bucks beat them 142-133. There's not a whole lot to analyze here besides 142-133. George mentioned last pod the Bucks defense worrying you. Is this another one? They're just slacking. They're going through the motions. It's playoff time, but they're fighting for a 2 or 3 seed for home court advantage against the Nets. What are you still worried here? I mean, I'll just go ahead and name some stats. I mean, they're playing.
Justin Holiday looked like prime
Justin
Steph
Holiday.
Curry.
He had 18 points in the first quarter. O'Shea Brisket.
O'Shea Brissett or something.
19 points. Sabonis, 10 points and 14 assists. They're running laps against him. They still got the win.
And he got hurt.
Yeah.
If Karis LeVert plays, the Bucks lose this game.
Yeah. 100%.
Maybe. But I'm going to cheat a little bit here. I hope it's like just a little bit of them tricking off games and not having effort. But I am a little bit concerned, though. I mean, Indiana shot 50% from 3. That's insane. And it falls on their defensive scheme. They let up a lot of open shots, which is why guys like O'Shea Brissett and Justin Holiday.
You mentioned that last pod. It's the let's not let them beat us from the 3-point line. But it's 2021. You don't normally do that.
Bud thinks since he has, Yanni and Brook Lopez out there, like they're the lumbering giants. They don't need to chase anyone off the 3-point line because, they have guys, they're not going to get past us. So let them shoot us out the gym. But it would be smarter for them to run them off the 3-point line, cause them to take shots inside, and you have 2 7-footers standing right there. That's what the Lakers did last playoff. They ran guys off the 3-point line. You had, LeBron, AD, Dwight, JaVale standing there swatting shots. So it's a scheme thing. Yanni at the 5 is also a lot better because they can switch everything, especially when you're going to be playing against the Nets in a second round. You have to switch everything. They have the guys to do it. So I just hope it's like an effort thing because that's what defense is too. It's kind of like 50% effort, 50% scheme. And I guess we'll see. I'm a little bit worried. I'm not going to sell my stock because I am the newfound owner of the Milwaukee Bucks to the finals stock. So we'll see.
Josh, could George Martin coach the Bucks better than Bruno?
Josh ain't putting faith in me.
Probably.
Hasn't had a bad take for the Bucks yet. Trade for PJ Tucker
George
and play
would
Udonis
simply put Udonis in the game for 48 minutes, and I think
he has the motor to do it.
That alone makes him a better coach than Bud.
You got any thoughts on the Bucks, D? George kind of hit everything that I was thinking of, but
yeah, no, he hits it right on the nose. I don't think that they should be coasting, but they do.
Yeah, it seems like the Nets they're finally turning it on. Well, I don't know, but I mean. I don't know. The Bucks are coasting. They feel like they have nothing to lose.
I'll add something here. I do want to think it's an effort thing because their defense actually did look a lot better. When they played the Nets, like Drew Holiday was out there playing all first team defense, and I mean they basically Kyrie struggled. KD did his thing, but that's KD, and everyone else kind of struggled too. So, like I said, hopefully an effort thing.
All right, we talked a lot there. Talk some more. It's halftime report. Halfway through the show, the half hooper. He's got his hair parted down the halfway part of his head. I don't know. I'm just thinking of stuff right now. But George, what's the first topic you got for us?
So Lehman almost brought this up.
I almost spoiled it.
He refrained for my halftime topic. Thank you, Lehman. Heat guard Victor Oladipo undergo a season-ending surgery on his right quadriceps tendon. I do want to note this is the same muscle that he tore in Indiana. I forget when it was, but it looks like it's a reoccurring injury. I want to ask you two things here. What does this do to their ceiling? Because we've talked about how their guard play raises their ceiling. And then he is a pending free agent. Do you think he takes like a 1-year prove yourself deal, or whoever offers him the slightest bit of a bag, he goes there? I'll start with you, Lehman. Just answer both or one. I don't care. You have the floor.
I'm going to answer
You have the
four.
floor.
I'm going to put some more questions out there because we got to stretch this show. You only got 2 topics for halftime, so we got to figure this out. Did do some research. He declined a 2-year, $45 million contract from the Rockets.
Mm-hmm.
So his team is pissed off. His agent is upset. I'm sure everyone is upset about it. But yeah, I don't think it's that big of a deal for the Heat-wise. For Oladipo, this is the biggest part of his career. Like, he's in his prime. Him getting that bag this offseason, I think he's going to get like a Trez Harrell type of contract, not situational-wise.
Like an MLE?
Yeah, you brought up a little bit more than the MLE. And he's not going to get a long-term contract. He's not. Just because he's constantly injured, but it's showed he can play. So he's not on a bogey level just yet.
Mm-hmm.
But one more, 2 strikes, he's 1 more strike away, and then he's probably on some 1-year minimums. But that's for Victor Oladipo. As far as the Heat go, I'm not too worried because I said this when they first traded for him. He's kind of insurance for if Hero's not playing well, if Dragic isn't playing well, if Nunn isn't playing well. He's got to be that person that picks up the slack. Those players are playing well. They got Jimmy, best I've seen him all season. Hero, best I've seen him all season. Dragic looking like bubble Dragic. Bam, he's not a guard, but he's also playing as well as they need. So this is the Heat ceiling wouldn't be raised anymore if he was there. He would just take someone else's minutes. And
I like it.
I'm thinking on the bright side here, but he would just kind of ruin their rotation that they have going right now.
Okay. All right, Josh, anything you want to add? And then I'll get some thoughts in after. So,
Lehman kind of hits it on the nose. I do think he's going to get a prove it deal, probably from Miami, honestly, because it's, he wanted to come there, and that's kind of where his head was at. It wasn't really about the money for him. It was kind of just about going to a destination he preferred. So I think he might get one of those deals. It's kind of sucks. So, and here comes George's comment. Like, I told you guys, if you get hit in the lower body, they're all connected. Like,
I'm not going to go PhD Grigor on you here.
It is unfortunate because Depot is a good player. He's one of my favorite players. For Miami, though, it'll suck. But it'll only suck if the players that play for the Heat right now don't do what they're supposed to do, because Depot's kind of like their little caution cushion, and without him, it is a deep, steep cliff if they don't have all their players playing. So
yeah, they finally got their offense figured out. So I don't know if they're so desperate for Depot anymore. I will say this: did Rockets win the trade? They got Kelly Olynyk in back.
They got Kelly Nowitzki out there.
He's playing.
I simply don't understand. Who put the Michael Jordan special juice in Kelly Olynyk's Gatorade?
He hides it in his hair. And I just want to say, I love the guy. He's got one of those punchable faces in the NBA. I know, he looks like Shaggy.
Did you hear your feelings when he pulled out Kevin Love's shoulder socket?
I haven't forgiven him since. The Cavs should have won that title. I'm upset. Next topic.
I got a few things to add, but so Miami has its bird rights. They can offer him more than anyone else, if they want to give him a balloon type deal. I know Lakers did that with KCP when he first signed, gave him like a 118. It would be enticing for him to stay, and it's like a prove it for a larger type bag. And then for the ceiling wise, I am a little bit sad because he kind of encapsulated their all switchable 5 like 3-and-D wing lineup, because you had sorry there. But they had Jimmy, Bam, Trevor Ariza, who I love, Iggy, and then they could have had Depot. I mean, that's like a penitentiary type lineup. But offensively, no, he wasn't really fitting in well offensively because he's been a first option, and they were asking him to be a third option. So I do think losing him doesn't hurt their offense. I'm not going to say it helps it, but having guys like Hero and Robinson and Nunn being able to like run the show and get all those shots up does help them get in rhythm. So we'll see where it goes. It's not a huge loss. It isn't going to like, derail their title chances. They still have a great shot to make the conference finals, in my opinion.
I think 4 games, so
and he didn't play
really
much.
Part of the team anyway.
They really didn't get continuity with him. It's not like a huge loss. Hopefully he gets healthy, and we'll see him next season. So last topic, like Lehman said here. So AD and Spike Lee post-game and LeBron, they were kind of chirping, jawing at each other. AD was like, what are you talking about? And LeBron waved at him. I want to ask you guys, what's your favorite fan-player interaction, like a heckler? No, don't say Malice at the Palace. That's, people got hurt. Someone threw a beer bottle. So, yeah.
We mentioned Malice at the Palace and laughed like 8 times on this pod. Why are you all of a sudden like defending the Coke bottle thrower?
I don't know. Anyways, Josh, let's hear you first, then we'll get to Lehman.
I have a couple. One of them's not too crazy, but the one where like that one playoff series where they were just making fun of LeBron's mom. I think it was in 2010. The Celtics and Cavs were playing the playoffs, and they were just making fun of LeBron's mom like every game. That's so funny. Mine would probably be the Reggie Miller. I can't remember his name. Spike Lee incident where he does the choking thing. That would probably be mine.
Lehman, what you got?
He did the choking thing and then also grabbed his private parts, which we found out on open court. Oh, Josh is gone. All right. I think mine. So underrated one, the purple guy in the Heat Hornets series. That was he's not a celebrity, but he's a celebrity to me. Like that was hilarious. He single-handedly made the Hornets lose that series because he got D-Wade going on a roll. Another one, Drake in the 19 finals, just chirping at the whole Warriors team, and he was wearing a Del Curry jersey. That was absolute comedy. And then I think I had one. Oh yeah, I mean Rihanna. I mean,
I was gonna bring that one up.
Rihanna going at KD, and I mean Rihanna. It's
mine really quickly. I guess whenever Josh gets back, it's when I think it was the 2019 conference finals, Eastern Conference Finals, Drake heckling Giannis right after he airballed a free throw. He's like, it's like jumping around and like talking smack to Giannis, poor guy. But yeah, that's all we have for the halftime. Pretty short here, so we're running smoothly on time. Bridge us into the next segment. We'll talk until Josh gets back.
Well, so the next segment was for Josh because, as you know, James Harden made his return. He had 18 and 11 in, I believe, 25 minutes. I do want to wait for Josh to get to that. So I'm going to go to the next one. So Blake Griffin did a Superbad collab with the shoe. It was absolute heat. He photoshopped his face. I'm sure everyone was listening has seen Superbad. He photoshopped his face on the McLovin fake ID. And he put his own like stats and stuff on it too, like where like his height and all that stuff. It was golden. And what I like about it, he fully committed to it. It wasn't like, it has like the actor's name on here, like it's got a bit of a stripe. No, the shoes were like rainbow because the Hawaii license from the movie. He went full out, and I loved it. I want to know what's a player team, player pop culture thing that you want to see a collab for. Think out of the box for me.
I hope this is out of the box enough for you, but my boy, my favorite center, I think he's the best center in the league, Nikola Jokic. A few years ago, he introduced us the story that he used to drink 3 liters of Coca-Cola per day. And Denver does have a alternate red jersey. So I thought, why not have like a Coca-Cola inspired shoe with like his face on it, or like just the Coke logo with like red?
George, I'm sorry. They play in the Pepsi Center arena.
Oh.
No,
Ouch.
bro, he can't do it. He can't do
Ouch. Can he put Pepsi? Would that still count then?
Well, here's what I'm thinking. I'm going to take yours. I'm going to twist it. So he used to drink 3 liters of Diet Coke or of Coke or whatever.
Yeah.
And then he lost all the weight, and he said used to. I'm thinking now he could say he switched to Pepsi, and that's why he lost the weight. And he does
that's complete cap. That would never happen, but I like what you're thinking.
But they got blue in their jerseys. He could do a blue shoe collab. And Pepsi's not as drippy as Coke. I'll give it that. I think it could still work. I don't think it would look the best, but they play in the Pepsi Center arena. So, I mean, I think that's the only option he really has.
I didn't think of that. But let's hear yours now.
Well, we got the obvious ones. J.R. Smith with Hennessy. That's
NBA
always
would not
fun.
allow that, but yes.
They would not. I think definitely Caruso's gone into the like manscaped like shaved head. I think he should go. Everyone who used to watch NBA TV knows what Bosley is, and I think they should bring back the commercials. Bosley, for anyone who doesn't know, it's like a Rogaine type thing, but it was one of the 3 commercials an NBA TV showed. Like you're watching like a Hardwood Classic at like 2 a.m. and it's Bosley. It's always a Bosley commercial, and they were the corniest commercials. They're infomercials, and I think he could definitely do that. He would have to probably come back with hair to make it actually work, and I don't know if Caruso's capable of that.
So he does have hair. He just has like the bald spot. But I remember last season, like he actually had hair. He's just embraced the bald look. I hope. I would wish his teammate. I wish LeBron would do it because that hairline is kind of it's getting receding enough. But yeah, I wish he would do that too. You got any else, or should I think of another one?
Well, we got Josh back. So do we have Josh back?
Hey, everybody.
Okay.
Yes.
Alrighty.
So did you hear what we were talking about?
You guys are talking about the cross culture crossing over, like pop culture stuff with NBA stuff.
So George said that Jokic should do a Coca-Cola ad or a shoe. I reminded him they play in the Pepsi Center Arena, so they can't do that.
Yeah, that was funny. Sorry, George.
And then I said,
I honestly didn't think
Bosley.
of that. Like, I'm glad Lehman brought that up though, because he's right.
Because hair, NBA TV throwback. What's yours?
I'm gonna say Jaylen Brown should really start getting in the booth with Khalid, and they could create like some cool kicks. I think that would be funny. There's a lot of player like artist comparisons. I know in football we just drafted to go a little off topic. We just drafted a guy that looks like a YouTuber. Shout out C-Bay Gaming. But there's a lot of like cross lookalikes, and like you said, Kelly Olynyk was Shaggy. I think that if you put Kelly Olynyk in like a Scooby-Doo commercial for like Scooby snacks or something like that.
The Scooby-Doo fruit snacks? Oh my gosh.
Yeah, like the Jaylen Brown Khalid thing, that'd be kind of funny.
Shoot, what was I gonna say? To get off talk a little bit more, Dallas Cowboys in the 3rd round drafted a guy who has 6 albums dropped already. 6 rap albums dropped already. Don't know his name because I don't watch the 3rd round of the draft. I know the top 14 picks. That's all I know. But yeah, getting back to basketball. George, you got any more? You said did you need to think of one? Did you think of one or?
Nah, unfortunately, I did not.
That bandana's on a little bit too tight, huh? You can't.
Sure.
The blood's not pumping to the brain.
Restricting my airflow, of course.
All right, now getting back to my first topic I wanted to get to. So Harden came back from injury, 18 or 11, I think, 25 minutes. Josh, you're the Harden guy. What'd you see? What'd you like? What you not like? Just take us through it.
Do you want me to go into the point that you're going to attack me, or do you want me to get all the good stuff from Harden out of the way so I have nothing to defend?
You talking about the beef?
Yeah.
Okay, get to the good stuff first, and then we'll transition to the next one.
Okay, so with Harden, his first game, it was pretty good. Coming off the bench, he had that little 6-man roll. He got the offense seemed like they rolled a lot better when he was on the floor. The assists kind of show that. I think he's one of the players where it's just like the assists like genuinely show how like good he is with his passing ability and his ability to he's kind of taken that role that Steve Nash has wanted him to play, just like the pure point guard role. I don't think Kyrie Irving played that game, but again, Harden and Durant, we've already argued, are the top 2 guys for this Nets team, the top 2 guys they need to make it to as far as the finals. But no, it was really good to see him play, especially he played 25 minutes, good amount for a first game back. I'm not disappointed, not upset in any way. It was a really good game for him. So eventually I would hope that his scoring elevation gets higher, but for a first game back, that was more than I could ask for.
Okay, now we'll get to what I didn't like because not the biggest Harden guy. I think he's kind of a little hoe, I guess. He's always whining about something. He's always something. He's a great player. He's top 10, obviously.
Why didn't you say just whiner? Why did you have to use that word?
He's always just complaining about something, or he's always causing drama. He's always flopping. So here's
that's
what
literally
happened.
Luka. What's the difference?
Or LeBron.
And Luka's a little hoe too, if I could keep it a buck. Which
yeah, okay. And LeBron and all of them. Okay, I think that's just how the league is at this point.
Yeah, no, okay. That's a whole other topic. But so rewind it, 1.5 years ago, Dejounte Murray Spurs versus Rockets, gets a steal, fast break layup. Harden gets in his face. Dejounte Murray right back at him because he's confident. They get face to face, no fist drum because they both don't want to fight. They just want to act tough. And we didn't. They get broken out. I think get a double technical.
I think Murray wanted the smoke. I think Harden did his little thing where he kind of takes the ball and is like, "What are you doing?" And then Murray got all up in his grill, and then that caused the double tag.
Yeah, and I think Harden was in shape back then too, so I don't know why I want smoke now. But fast forward to Harden's return, first game back, absolute menace. Just Murray in the air, goes by Harden, catching a pass, shoves him and tries to trip him. Did you see something I didn't, or was this an actual dirty play?
I mean, it is a dirty play, but at the same time, the fact that plays like this are just, I guess it's kind of going under the radar. But a lot of people are like, oh, he should get ejected. Oh, they should really look into suspending him. That's ridiculous. That's absurd.
Who's saying that?
Twitter. If you look at what you said,
there's always someone talking on Twitter because I don't agree with that, even as not a big Harden guy.
If you look at what you sent me,
fined at the most.
I tried to say the same thing 3 different times. I kept getting interrupted.
You didn't get it out in time. Sorry.
We're gonna let you say. We're gonna say.
You're just too loud, George.
What do you want to say? What do you want to say?
The tweet that you sent me, his response to his own tweet was they should look into suspending Harden for this play. And it's this is a common technical for a good playoff series, I would think, or a flagrant, nothing more than that. They should just be a warning. It was a dirty play, but at the end of the day, the result didn't happen to be anything. The tripping was unsuccessful, and Murray's the shove kind of just sent him flying.
Okay, so if Murray tweaks his ankle, then it's an ejection. Now we're doing that.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of it has to go with result. No.
You had me. I agree with you 100%. Now we're not.
But we're not doing it based off intent, or the.
Well, no, the intent is there, but it gets elevated when there's a actual result.
I don't like that as much.
You got to write the story when the ball's in the air.
What do you mean?
I mean, it's same goes. The Dame Lillard shot, that's where the quote it didn't come from, but where it applies to. That PG says is a bad shot. In the air, yeah, he takes from half court. It's a bad shot. It goes in, not a bad shot. Him shoving DeJounte while he's in the air before if he's hurt or not, that's a dirty play.
Yeah, but it's nothing to be ejected over.
I don't think so either. But you switched up and you said if he tweaks his ankle or he hurts his knee or something, then the consequence should be more.
Was he even given a flagrant?
Yeah, because that turned into
Yeah, no,
he wasn't even gonna. I think he's just gonna foul. I think.
Yeah,
okay, but Josh, so would you say someone taking a layup that gets pushed out of the air, that would be a damn near ejection, right? No matter what the result, because it's a dangerous play.
If they land on their feet, it's a common foul. If they fall to the floor, it's a flagrant one. If they get injured, it's flagrant too.
If you're trying to get it out the game, if you're trying to get out the game or send a warning that it's not fine, you have to do it regardless of result. Because look what happened.
I'm not. You're taking it I can somehow lower the consequence because of the result. I'm just saying the floor is the intent, and then it gets worse because obviously you don't want anybody to get hurt, but with some fouls there's higher risk. And if you think about it, if they come up, they're just a little shaken off, it's not going to seem as bad as if somebody genuinely gets hurt. We've seen, I'll give you a good example, the Andrew Bynum foul, a decade ago, when he just, when he hit JJ Barea, it looks so much worse just because he, literally becomes lifeless. But we've seen that foul a lot. We saw that foul with Boban this year, too. And he got ejected, obviously, but I'm just saying, the result kind of makes it look worse.
What was the result of that play?
It was the same result. They both fell down. He helped them both up. That was just different reffing.
I see.
Fair point.
I mean, I agree to disagree. Don't bring up the Bynum foul. That was horrific.
That's the worst. That's one of the worst.
Barea's 5'9", man.
7-footer picking on a 5'10" guy just because he's married to Miss Universe. Sticks his elbow out, falls to the floor. I think he cried. Then Bynum took his shirt off.
I think he genuinely couldn't
walk.
Well, getting to more menaces to society. Udonis Haslam, Miami Heat legend, been there for 69 years or something. He's been there for a while. Got his debut today because he's more of just a locker room guy, great locker room guy. Played 2 minutes, 47 seconds, was ejected for talking to Dwight. Dwight was throwing different big men stuff, hand down here, elbow here, stuff the ref can't see. UD didn't like it, started chirping. Dwight, I don't believe was ejected. UD was kicked out. And then more on the Heat, Ariza and Embiid were having some words. Ariza, had his hands up for Embiid. Embiid didn't get the foul, flopped, and then while falling down on the floor around Ariza's knees, swiped back to knock Ariza down. Probably in frustration not get the foul, but it wasn't a foul. Kind of just Embiid being extra like he normally is. Thoughts on either or? Are these legit beefs? Are they just kind of funny? Especially because no one got hurt. I'll start with George.
I don't think either are beefs, just like a heat of the moment thing, especially because, Udonis has him as tough nosed as he is. That's how he plays. He's tough. He likes talking shit. He even said that. He was like, I would have talked more if I was in the game. So, that's how he is. And going up against Dwight, those two are old school guys. I know it probably meant a lot to him to play against him. And then on the other side with the Embiid thing, he kind of just ran into Ariza and kind of flailed like he does. And then he just fell over. And I don't think it was intent for him to fall into him, but it was just kind of like a reckless bang bang play. I don't think there was ill intent, but it was dangerous nonetheless. But yeah, I mean, if they play in a playoff series, we might see some flare ups, but nothing personal. That's just the heat of the moment basketball.
So you don't think this can carry over? You just think that they're both hard mouth. You just think they're a hard smash mouth team, so it can be renewed. But there's nothing here that's actually going to last.
Ain't that the Heat culture? I don't think. I mean, it might last a little bit. I don't expect fists to be thrown. I mean, you'll get hard nosed playoff basketball. That's normal. You'll get a little bit chippy, but I don't expect any fist fights to come from this.
Yeah, I mean, I just think Embiid's way too lunky and lumbering to be flailing like that. Mm-hmm. He can't be the new Zaza. He just can't. He's 7'2". You can't be falling down to people's knees like that.
Especially falling forward. It just felt weird to me. I don't know. Maybe it was his momentum, but I mean, just try and get out of the way. Anyway,
it was a corny flaily play. Josh, thoughts on this?
This is no Heat Indiana beef that we saw last year. It's even
that was something.
It's even lower than that. So I think this is just high intensity. They're just Ariza saw what he didn't like. Udonis didn't see or saw what he didn't like. So it's just high playoff intensity.
So a lot of Heat talk here. Quickie here. Tyler Hero. I'm sure everyone saw it, showed up with a very interesting cut. I call it the Edgar cut. People were saying it looked like Lloyd Christmas from Dumb and Dumber. Absolute comedy classic. Second comedy classic mentioned in this podcast. You guys got any of your favorite funny haircuts from ever? And you can't. Well, Carlos Boozer, the spray-on hair. You can mention it a little bit, but let's get a little bit creative here. I know you're passionate about the Carlos Boozer spray-on, so Josh, quick thoughts on Carlos Boozer spray-on?
I guess I'll say my other one. So Carlos Boozer, he did the hair coating. It looks really funny. It looks bad. And 2 days later, it was gone. And 2 days before that, it wasn't there. So it's really funny. Mine would definitely be when Elfrid Payton thought he was super cool and had the super long caterpillar thing that went all the way a foot in front
Reggie
of his
Bullock
forehead.
has that same one now.
Mm-hmm.
It's the same exact hair.
But Reggie Bullock kind of keeps it contained. Elfrid Payton at one point, it was literally a caterpillar coming out of his head. His head was an apple, and the caterpillar was coming out the top of his head.
George.
So do you guys remember tail end of Andrew Bynum's career? He was rocking that really weird afro. I thought it was so funny.
And then, wait, no, there's another one. Hold on. He was rocking that really weird afro.
And the dreads. The dread. He had the super tight cornrows.
Are you talking about the where you straighten his hair, George?
Yeah, it was like an afro. It was like an afro that was coming down straight.
He had a bowl cut, Ned's Declassified School Survival Guide, coconut head. That's what he looked like. And then he had the tight dreads on the left side, and then the fro on the right side. Dude was out of his goddamn mind.
That was in a post game practice. Yeah, that was so funny.
And then mine is just like not a lot of white guys know what to do with their long hair when they get to the NBA. We've seen Birdman mohawk it, and obviously that's a classic.
Yeah.
But like Chris came in before he shaved his head, just long, looked like ramen noodles. It was very, very bad, very dead hair. I don't think he ever shampooed, or he shampooed too much. I can't figure out which one. Steve Nash's mop is iconic, but like it was no Pete Maravich floppy hair. It was a little bit too long, especially when he was out partying. He was kind of looking like George there with that long hair. And then Andre Kirilenko. Not a lot of people remember him. He had the Karen haircut, AK-47. He had the bangs.
He looked like Ed Karen, actually.
He looked like he had my hair, but he woke up and straightened it every morning. It was Andre Kirilenko. Holy hell, that maybe the worst hair of all time. That Andrew Bynum one. Okay, a few more fun ones, and we'll wrap up here. So Josh sent in the group chat today. I'll give him credit from Reddit. Nikola Jokic. Knick fans want him to come to New York strictly because his name can be Nikola Jokic, and that's a K-N. K Nikola Jokic. It's beautiful. It works well. What's one player team combo you want to see happen for reasons that don't involve basketball? Josh.
Oh, you're gonna start with me?
Yeah, I'm gonna start with you. I mean, unless you don't have one, George.
I got one. I want J.R. Smith to sign a deal with the Celtics just so he can hit the little pipe that the Celtics logo guy has, and he could be like their logo guy. I think that would be funny.
When the NBA gets new logo, the Celtics do too. And
it's just James
I picture it's like the outline of Who Framed Roger Rabbit, where he's like with the back like this, and he has the pipe. George.
Mine isn't as funny, but I need the ball boys all on the Hornets roster, so LeVar can become like a assistant coach and just drive MJ crazy. I need to see at least two of them because I don't think Jello's getting a shot. But I definitely want to see Lonzo and LaMelo on the same in the same backcourt.
So basketball.
That's not like they're brothers. It's not like a basketball reason.
All in the family. All right, moving on. Last one here, I believe. Yeah, last one here. NBA announced it is naming an award after Kareem. It's centered around social justice, well-deserved. Him and Bill Russell, 60s and 70s, very, very important. He actually met MLK in high school. I watched a little story on that. Good stuff.
Wow.
Well-deserved. He was in high school. MLK was not in high school. He was in high school. I don't know if you got confused there.
I didn't.
But I want to hear what's a new award we should make? And we'll get to this having fun with our awards. We're going to have some of our own awards. But what's a new award that should be named after a player, past or current? I'll start with George.
This is a little bit of a corny one, and it wouldn't be like, an award they give out, kind of just like what is it, like a superlative that NBA Twitter could give out. I want a Rasheed Wallace award given to the player with the most technicals. So Luka would win it this year, presumptively.
Luka!
But yeah, I think it'd be funny. Maybe you can name it like I don't know, NBA Twitter would have a field day with it, like Mickey
Just
Mouse.
call it the Sheed.
The She, okay, yeah,
The
that's
Sheed
fine.
with a
But
D,
yeah,
not the She, like the Green Day song. The Sheed.
Yeah, that's it.
The sheesh. All right, yeah, Josh.
I have two. One we'll probably use for our award show next week. Most useless award. I'm gonna give it to Andre Drummond. The Drummond Award, as I'm calling it.
I'm waking up to 60 texts.
Absolutely blows my mind how somebody could put up such nice stats and be one of the most useless basketball players on the court. He blows my mind.
Against the Knicks. Anyways,
congrats with Nerlens Noel, and you want to say Kelly Olynyk too. And the second one I have is I think I want to give it to I think it's the Steph Curry Award. I think that we should start doing it for every 5 to 10 years. It should just be an award where, like, because the era of basketball changes so quickly. Like LeBron would probably be another person that we could name it after, but it's just like the guy that kind of like solidified the era. Literally changed from like a 3-point barrage because of one guy. I think that's crazy, and I think that should be kind of like an award we look into, just like a long-term award,
like a generational talent award.
Sort of, but I think more so that like changing the aspect of the game, because we've seen so many generational talents, but like for them to completely change the game plan of all the teams is insane.
Mine's actually really similar. So we have the Walter Payton Man of the Year award in football. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think we should do the opposite, the worst teammate, and we call it the Derek Fisher Award. And that's because of the Matt Barnes, Derek Fisher situation. I think they bring Derek Fisher up there. He promotes Sportsnet as a Laker.
Did you say ours was very similar?
He changed the game for cucks everywhere. He really did.
Who would win it in today's game?
Rudy Gobert.
Come on, man.
I think maybe JJ Redick. He's very petty. You could maybe. I didn't want to call it the locker room cancer award. And why would Kevin Porter Jr. win it?
Because he threw a tamper.
Modern day slavery through Superbad assistant. Kevin Love. It's Kevin Love. Yeah, Kevin Love for sure.
So yeah, the Derek Fisher Award given to the worst NBA teammate. I think that could work. What would Matt? No, Matt. There's no award for Matt Barnes. He
all the smoke.
That would be the Ron Artest Award. Most physical.
All right, that's all. Look ahead time.
I got mine.
So yeah, like we said, Sunday. We're gonna have a lot of look heads there. All of Sunday's look ahead from 10 to 3. Every single team plays. All 15 teams play. There's gonna be a lot of basketball there.
All 15.
All 30 teams play. 15 games. It's 5:30 now. We've been going for an hour.
It's a week.
What's your look at, George?
So yeah, pretty big standings implications here. That's the only reason why I picked it. Golden State versus Memphis at 12:30 Pacific time. This will be a pretty early tip-off for both teams. But winner gets the 8 seed. Loser takes the 9. This is big because the 8 seed would get 2 games to lose, while the 9 seed, if they lose, they're out of there. So it's basically, this is going to decide who the 7 seed plays. We don't know who that's going to be. But Josh, I think you have the matchup that's going to decide the 7 seed, right?
What's your prediction?
I'm going to take... no, I'm taking Steph. I'm not betting against Steph. No way. Nah.
He's not doing it, Josh.
I'm taking the Warriors.
He's not
okay, so while the Lamickies go against the sad Pelicans, the same time, 6 p.m., the Nuggets will head over. Fun fact, Enes Kanter averages more rebounds than Nikola Jokic, but the Nuggets will go ahead to Portland, face the Blazers. This is kind of big because if the Clippers lose and the Nuggets win, the Clippers play the Thunder, they're not going to lose. But in the miracle that they lose and the Nuggets win, Nuggets get 3rd seed. If the Nuggets lose, 4th seed. But if the Blazers win, kind of stealing a little bit of your play-in thunder here. If the Blazers win and the Mavericks lose, they get the 5th seed. If the Blazers lose and the Lakers win, the Lakers will get the 6th seed. And if the Blazers win, I believe they stay. So this is an important game, more so for Portland. I think Denver is probably going to stick to that 3rd seed or 4th seed. But very important for the Blazers because I do not know how they will face Steph Curry.
Who you got, Josh?
I'm going to take the Blazers on this one.
Is that how I sound describing the play-in? Because if so, yes. no one gets any information.
Listen, dude, it's so complex.
Like it's so convoluted.
Fun fact, I think Bobby Marks tweeted it. 2 teams have locked their spot into a seed. So every other playoff play-in eligible team doesn't know what seed they are right now. So, I mean, it's fine, Lehman. Nobody knows what's going to happen. You can bet on it.
And Josh didn't even stutter. I stutter during it. I can imagine what I sound like.
You're like we stutter under pressure. Don't worry.
My look ahead, Miami Saturday, not Sunday, because I let all of Sunday's look ahead for me. So I'm gonna go a little outside the box. Heat take on the Bucks at 5:00. Latest game on Saturday. Heat go ahead. Jimmy Butler take on the league MVP Giannis Antetokounmpo, averaging 28 and 11. This could be a first round matchup. I know we were talking
Bucks
about
6.
First round.
I know we're talking about Heat being maybe a second round matchup for the Sixers. This could be a first round matchup if the Bucks get the 3 seed and Miami gets the 6 seed. So yeah, I think
who you got?
I got Miami again. I hit Miami.
I let you on the Bucks train here.
Yeah, and they're still close, and they gave up 133 to Saboner.
I'll remember that. I'll remember that when they make the conference finals and dethrone the Nets. Like you didn't pick them.
I have them winning against the Nets.
Guys.
Anyways,
we'll go over that when we do.
Did you hit last game, George? I know I hit against the Sixers Heat. Did you predict a 1-1 Blazers split?
I did predict a split. I said split.
Did you get the games right?
I did not.
Or did you? I know you didn't. George, Josh. I knew you were on last pod. Did you have Hawks completing the sweep, or did you have Wizards coming back?
I did have Atlanta just because no Bradley Beal.
Fair enough. All right, we're gonna call it now. That's gonna do it for tonight's episode. Shortest podcast in probably 6 months, but hopefully you still enjoy it. Still over an hour. Like what you heard, make sure to follow at THHoopers, Instagram and Twitter. If you're listening on YouTube, hi, thank you. Hit subscribe. Tweet us on Twitter because George is on Twitter now. He's new, so say hello to him. And besides that, thanks for being an OG and take care, guys.